So you're working towards your JavaScript certification from FreeCodeCamp. And in this video, we're focusing on building a sentence maker. And I believe it's where we're going to be going through a lab, which means that they don't give you step-by-step directions. They just kind of give you some user stories and they want you to finish those. If you're new to this channel, new to the video, my name is Rob. I'm over at the Code Zone School, and I kind of go through these FreeCodeCamp modules from an instructor point of view. So if you are looking to learn this stuff, then this might be the video for you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into the code here. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right. So we are in the FreeCodeCamp here with the build a sentence maker. And right off the bat, it wants us with our user stories. Let's first go over the objective. The objective says fulfill the user stories below. Get all of the tasks to pass in order to complete the lab. Right here, the very first user story is that it says we should declare the following variables utilizing the keyword let, and then we're going to do adjective, noun, verb, place, adjective to, and noun. Now, there is a way to kind of initialize all of those all at once. And matter of fact, we can probably do that in this one and it would be fine. So let's go ahead and show you that we are able to do it this way. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do let, and then we're just going to do adjective. And then all you have to do is put commas in here, and you're going to be able to initialize all of these all at once. All right, so let's go ahead, and I believe that's all that we have to do for that user story number one. Let's go ahead and run the test here, and you can see that we already have all of the check marks on here. Now, from a readability point of view, I don't know if that's the best practice, best approach. I'd probably say no, let's just go ahead and, we'll combine them all, right? With, hey, let's make the adjective this. Let's go ahead and set the noun equal to this. But anyways, that's just a real quick way of knocking that out with user story number one. Now, as far as the next one here, it says that you should assign the above variables to store some sort of string value of your choice. And because they're already initialized, we can now add values to them. And this almost reminds me of like a Mad Lib, right? Where we're trying to add in some words because later on we're going to be making a sentence and it should kind of make sense with the items that we used. Very first one, and I'm just reading the story here on line 4. Once upon a time, there was and then I'm going to say, we'll put in here smelly, right? That kind of describes an object here. So let's go ahead and do adjective, and we're going to set that equal to smelly. As far as the next item on here, it says noun. So I'm going to go ahead and set the noun. I want to do cow. So once upon a time, there was a smelly cow who loved to eat, and then it wants another noun. So we're going to do noun number 2, and we'll say corn. And then the story will go, the cow lived in, we'll say barn, and we'll put large for the adjective number 2. Large nostrils that blew fire when it was, and then we'll just put happy for the verb. All right. If you've been watching any of my other videos, the semicolons are typically optional in JavaScript unless we're talking about a for loop. Then that's when they're mandatory. Usually when you're working with Visual Studio Code and you're utilizing some sort of prettier functionality, that's when you'd be able to utilize it, and it would put those in there for you automatically. So sometimes I do forget to put them in there. It's really user preference or your work company's preference for the code review. All right. So now it says we need to declare a variable called first story. So we'll say let first story, and then we want to set that equal to, and then this following string. Now, if you watched my previous videos, we've done string concatenation before, but when it comes to things like this, it's going to be so much easier if we utilize the backticks. Now, the backticks are found right above your tab key. Looks like that. I'll make sure to zoom in on the video here, and it is going to be there for you to see that double slash on there. It's automatically going to put it in there, but it's just a backtick. Okay, this is going to be string interpolation. And that means anytime we come to a variable, we're able to use the $ curly bracket and simply reference it. So I'm going to copy the guts of this, and then we're just going to refactor this in order for us to be able to use what we want to do. I will down here, because I believe it wants us to log it. So we'll do a console.log first story. That way we can see it happen in real time with us changing things. So for this to work, I'm going to go ahead and do the $ curly bracket. And then I'm going to come over here and put in the curly bracket. So now you can see once upon a time there was smelly. And then now we're going to move on to the noun. We're going to delete the square bracket and do the curly bracket like you see right here. Okay, so now you can see the smelly cow. Next, the noun to, go ahead and change it. And so that's what I'm just doing here. It's going to be $ curly bracket. Okay, and you'll want to verify that your console log is updating. So I'm kind of glad that we're doing that little console log down here, because we can make sure that we don't have any errors show up. Okay, and then obviously if you had your own IDE like Visual Studio Code, you can do find and replace to make this go a little bit smoother. But we're just going to go through it one by one here and verify that it does in fact work. Okay, so this is the last one. All right, so once upon a time, there was a smelly cow who loved to eat corn. The cow lived in a barn and had large nostrils that blew fire when it was happy. Okay, so I think that it worked. It says your output message for your first story should be console.log. So it does want us to do something like this. We can do the following, first story, and then we can go ahead and do the comma, and that should work. But I don't know if FreeCodeCamp is going to like that, if it is checking the console log or not. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. Let's run our tests and see what we hit and what we didn't. There should be a declare for story, yes, and then it says your first story should have the console log of that. So it did not like my comma, even though it did work. So we'll just do the plus and do the following. So now let's run this again, and hopefully it liked it this time. So number 16 was the error, and all I did was add a space, and then I changed that comma to a plus. Okay. So it did, in fact, have a unit test to test for this exact console log. All right. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what we have to do next. And this is for the second story. So this is going to be a real good time. What I'm going to do with this video here is we're going to go ahead and stop the video here. I think we did enough for you to continue on and do this by yourself. Now, if you did not complete it, right, where you needed some additional help, hey, no worries. Come to the Code Zone School. We're going to have the full video for you, and that way you can go ahead and knock it out over there. All right. So we'll see you over there. If you need help, feel free to ask your questions. And if you want to ask your question in a more private setting, you can definitely, again, head over to the Code Zone School and ask your questions. So we'll see you in the next video. All right. Take care.